Most Americans think once you become a U.S. citizen, your status is permanent. But that's not always true. Whether you're born in the U.S. or became a citizen later, there are legal ways your citizenship can be taken away. Let's explore how someone can lose U.S. citizenship, both by choice and by government action, and what the law says about it. 2 types of citizens, different risks. There are 2 main kinds of U.S. citizens. Citizens by birth, born in the U.S. or its territories like Puerto Rico or Guam, or born abroad to an American parent. Naturalized citizens, people who moved to the U.S. and became citizens through the immigration process. Both types have the same rights, voting, passports, and federal protections. But the risk of losing citizenship is not the same for both. Natural-born citizens are protected by the Constitution, especially the 14th Amendment. It's very rare to lose citizenship if you were born in the U.S. unless fraud was involved at birth. Naturalized citizens, on the other hand, got their status through a legal process. If that process was based on lies or false documents, the government can cancel their citizenship, giving up citizenship voluntarily. The most common way people lose U.S. citizenship is by choosing to give it up, called renunciation. This isn't something you can do online or by writing a letter. It's a legal process that involves going to a U.S. embassy or consulate in another country, signing an oath saying you understand the consequences, paying a fee, more than $2,000, accepting that it's permanent. Once you do this, you give up your U.S. passport, your right to vote, access to Social Security or other government benefits, and if you want to return to the U.S., you'll need a visa, like a foreigner. Thousands of Americans renounce citizenship each year, mostly for tax, political, or personal reasons. But once it's done, you can't take it back. Losing citizenship without wanting to. Now here's something that shocks many people. The U.S. government can take away your citizenship, even if you don't want to give it up. This process is called denaturalization and mostly affects naturalized citizens. Every year, the Department of Justice opens cases where it believes someone shouldn't have been granted citizenship in the first place. Reasons include hiding a criminal record, using a fake name or documents, lying about military or political involvement, being part of war crimes or human rights violations. There's no time limit for this. Even if you became a citizen 25 years ago, if fraud is found now, the government can act real cases. Here are 2 real-life examples. A Bosnian man living peacefully in the U.S. lost his citizenship when it was discovered he took part in war crimes during the Yugoslav Civil War. He had hidden this during his immigration process. A former Nazi concentration camp guard, living in the U.S. for decades, was denaturalized and deported after his past was exposed. These are not rare cases. The U.S. has canceled citizenship many times when serious fraud or crimes were found. Groups and governments that raise red flags. It's not only fraud that causes denaturalization. If you join a hostile group or foreign government within 5 years of becoming a citizen, your case can be reviewed. This includes taking a high role in another government without telling the U.S., serving in a military that's against U.S. interests, joining a group that supports violent acts against the U.S. Even if you don't personally commit violence, your connection to such groups can be a problem. The government may say your original application was dishonest. Dual citizenship. Is it risky? Many people ask, is dual citizenship allowed? The answer, yes, in many situations. You can have a U.S. passport and one from another country like Canada or the UK without losing your U.S. citizenship. But intent is important. If you get foreign citizenship to leave the U.S., swear full loyalty to another country, take part in politics against U.S. interests, you might face problems. The government may question your commitment and take legal steps if necessary. Extreme cases, treason or rebellion. One of the rarest but most serious ways to lose citizenship is through treason or rebellion. This happens if someone joins a war against the U.S., acts as a spy for an enemy, tries to overthrow the government. These are very rare cases, but the laws are still active. If someone is convicted in federal court, They can lose their citizenship in addition to going to prison. How the U.S. finds these cases. The U.S. Department of Justice has a special team that works on denaturalization cases. They cooperate with Homeland Security and immigration officials. They use biometric data, old immigration files, artificial intelligence, historical records. Even old cases from decades ago can be reopened if new facts come up. If fraud or criminal activity is found, the government can take the case to court. The person can defend themselves, but if the court agrees with the government, their citizenship is canceled. What happens next? No more U.S. passport. No more voting rights. The person becomes deportable. They are not returned to green card status. They must leave the country. Born in the U.S.? Are you safe? If you were born in the U.S., your citizenship is usually safe thanks to the 14th Amendment. But there are rare exceptions. If your birth record was faked, if false documents were used, if you were part of a birth tourism scam, where pregnant women come to the U.S. just to give birth and get citizenship fraudulently. These cases are very hard for the government to prove, but they have happened, especially when organized fraud is involved. What all these cases have in common. Whether it's renunciation or denaturalization, the government can only take your citizenship if there's proof. That means you willingly gave it up. You lied or hid important facts. You did something serious that breaks U.S. law. The U.S. must prove these things clearly in court. It's not easy, but if they succeed, the decision is final and cannot be reversed. Final message. Know the law, protect your rights. U.S. citizenship is one of the most powerful legal statuses in the world. It gives you rights, protection, opportunities. But it also comes with rules, legal responsibilities, and consequences if laws are broken. Whether you were born in the U.S. or became a citizen later, make sure you know your rights, but also know the law. Because what you don't know could cost you everything.